Yona. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good time zone to all of you. I am, however, not talking to any of you live today. It's a pre-recorded video, so if you're watching the VOD, hi there. As some of you may know, I've been sick for a little while, but I feel a little bit weird not doing anything. Though at the same time, I feel like my voice isn't ready to go for hours yet. So what I thought I might be able to do is just record something for 10-20 minutes and at the same time show off some Mega Man. Because I got some tips and tricks. Kinda. Last we left off, for those who weren't there, I defeated all the Mavericks and I said like I'll just collect all the items off screen as I've done with a couple of other games before. Because in my experience, especially some of the later X games have required you to do a little bit of like backtracking, a little bit of grinding, and that's more true for this game than ever. Between having to switch between different characters requiring certain items, you're probably like gonna go back into stages 3, sometimes 4 times, depending on if you mess up. So what I did is got all of them, but I thought like maybe I can also convey some advice to anybody who wants to try it themselves. In particular, there's one item that's particularly hard to get in Troia Base, and I thought I could do a little walkthrough of how I'd suggest getting it. Because on top of all the items, you also have to pay for them in the shop once you have found them in the stages, and this game gets expensive. I think I didn't do the maths, somebody else can do it, but I think per character to 100% them, you're spending between 40 and 80,000 metal. And clearing a stage just once will kind of net you between 1,000 and 2,000 metal on average. So yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to keep replaying the stages ad nauseum, because I mean some of them are fun, but they're not like replaying it 80 times kind of fun, you know, if I what I mean. Which is also why when I say Troia Base has one item that is probably the hardest one to get in the game, if you don't know how to do it, you might be like, oh, well, can't I just skip that one? You know, I can go without one item, and it's like, no. Because the item is called the metal generator, and this item literally generates free metal for you every few steps. So in light of not wanting to kill yourself, I would get the metal generator because it will literally make your life so much easier while you're trying to get upgrades for the various characters. So, how do you get it? For the purposes of this video, I'll assume that you've already gotten most of the other items, but maybe you're just struggling here. There's one item that you need in particular, because without it, you're gonna have a hard time. It's actually a really hard stage, but you can completely make it entirely insignificant, obsolete, if only you have the glaive. The glaive being, the D-glaive being a weapon you can get in pitch black. It's a weapon for 0, it's basically a giant lance, and it is extremely important that you get this. And then I'll just walk you guys through how Troia Base goes with 0. We'll take Axel with us just to make one jump easier, but we won't actually be using him at all for the rest of the stage. So for people who don't know, this part of Troia Base, you get 8 mini games kind of in a row. They're all time attack based, and you're on a pretty strict timer to finish them on time, so to say, because you have to get 8 out of 8 perfect clear, highest possible score basically, within that time limit, in order to get the item we want here. So, and that is, honest to God, quite hard, but I'm gonna make it easy. So all you need is the glaive, and what you're gonna do is pizza cutter. This first one is like, it needs like a little bit of focus, just seeing where they come from, but honestly, if you come, like, kind of roughly stand in the middle, you don't even really need to know the order they come in. The goal here is 90. Without Deglaive, the highest I could get was 85. I imagine this is rather difficult if you don't have it and you're not using this strategy. But this way, even if you're just roughly standing in the middle, you can just jump in the direction you need to be. And you should be okay. You should get 90 with a couple of seconds to spare. I'm probably not going to get it right now, but when I was particularly focused, I could get up to 95. Somebody let me know if you managed to get 100. I'll be quite impressed. I feel like, at least with this strat, you cap out at 95, as you can see there. I'm not sure if you can go much higher, but let me know if you can. Okay, so in the next stage is actually gonna be the only one where we don't use Pizza Cutter. It's the one where we're falling down from the sky. And we're just gonna hit this guy with the glaive. If you do particularly well, you can get him on the first go. Within like 3 swings, basically. But even if you get him on the second cycle, that should still give you enough time. Okay. And you're gonna start noticing a pattern here pretty soon. And that is that we really are just gonna pizza cutter everything. The next stage is technically the hardest out of the Troia Base set. In that, depending on where the enemy spawns and where your platforms are at, you can accidentally mess it up, so I'll focus a little bit better. Okay, now it's gonna respawn somewhere. Yeah, that's not unfortunately the best place for our strat, but we still got him. Like I said, especially if he's far on the bottom, it's not the most efficient, but usually you're still gonna be fine. You have a little bit more time than you think. And sure enough, that's just more pizza cuttering in. Okay, and then the next one, I believe this one is quite funny if it goes right. We didn't get it on this one. If they both jump up at the same time, you can get the 2 of them like in basically 1 second, still explode simultaneously. It's really satisfying when they do. But no such luck this time. No such luck. This is where you can find one of the items which White Palette is yelling at us. We already have it, so we don't have to go looking for it. Okay. And then this way, we also just pizza cutter it. It's one you have to be on top of, because he can get away from you if you don't pay a lot of attention, but sure enough, pizza cutter for the win. Oh, for people who don't know, there is a little treasure down here. I completely missed those while I was streaming, and I feel like it's probably obvious because that's the easier way to go than trying to stick to the top, but hey, you're gonna try to get extra money, so why not grab the one you can find there? Okay. That's also the only reason we have Axel with us. It's basically to get across that pit a little bit easier than it is with 0 or X. Okay. This one, completely pathetic. With our pizza cutter, you don't even have to try. For people who don't know, one of the items we need in the stage is actually up over on the right there. If you use Axel's hover, you can get it. I already have it though, so we can just keep on moving there. It's basically underneath this platform, essentially. Okay. And then this is basically the final of our tests. And these guys are actually kind of annoying if you try to fight them properly. But if you do this, they are dead within seconds. Yeah. Now, for real, Troia Base is actually a really hard stage if you're trying to do it legitimately. But if you just deglaive and pizza cutter it, you're gonna be fine. Oh, this is another reason we take Axel with us. It's just slightly easier to make the jump around these spikes when you have him, as opposed to doing air dashes and double jumps. But here we go. To the final one. And once again, the final boss. Just pizza cutter. It is almost insulting to what is otherwise a bit of a challenge. Just take the declave. Yep. So, and then you'll have made it through all 8 of the stages. In the next room over, if you don't have it already, this is where you will find your metal generator. It will be right there in the center. Makes Troia Base really easy, so that's my recommendation. Troia Base also has a fun little Easter egg, as I found out. If you clear all of the 8 stages on max level... Oh no, there's some outside data being downloaded. File name is CM. Can't figure out what this data could mean. Well, let's find out. That's right, Cutman! It's a cute little stage. I quite like it, but of course, you can also just pizza cutter him to death with a declave. Yeah. I'm honestly, like, obviously I haven't played any further ahead, but I'm starting to wonder about how the Sigma fight is gonna go. Surely I can't just pizza cutter him with a declave till he dies, right? I feel like I found, like, some forbidden technique that I was never supposed to look at, but, yeah. So that is how you get the metal generator. So that is my quick guides for Troia Base. Next, I'll show you guys how you can get some money. Because there's a couple of ways you can go about it. And honestly, all the best ones, they're in Metal Valley. So, basically, the advice I saw is basically to use Axel, but I think you could technically do this with any character as long as you have a weapon that hits quickly. Let's start with my advice in, like, descending order of, like, basically any of these tricks will do, depending on how lazy you want to be. So this stage we've got the giant following us, and as he's chasing us down, oh yeah, by the way, up here is another rare metal. If you jump on the bones that I already have, you might have seen metals floating around there. It's basically at the top, for anybody who's missing that one. And then we can basically just ignore most things in the stage. It doesn't really matter to us. There's basically 3 ways to make money in this stage, and I'll just go over all of them. The first one is to stand over here. Let's wait on the big guy to catch up for us. So, big guy, he can't hit you here. But here's the thing, if you hit the big guy with a special weapon, and I did find that most things work, but you... general consensus that I found is that the ray gun is the most efficient here. And I think I'll agree for the most part. Though I found that, like, blast launcher and various other things work just fine as well. And that's because you can just keep pressing the B button. As you can see, this sounds terrible. In fact, I'm gonna turn down the sound a little bit, just to spare you all. It drops the red things, and the red things are money. The one downside of doing it on this side is basically that you are kind of, you know, left to RNG whether or not the red things will fall on the side of the robots. That is where you're standing. But theoretically, at this point, if you want to, you can tape down your B button, you can just keep holding it, and you'll kind of just automatically generate money. And that is the first tactic. You can try to do this more legitimately by, you know, shooting the guy, especially while he's running away. Because while he's running away, you can chase him, and it's easy to get a bunch of hits in. I'll do that once we finish the little boss battle here. Okay, just wait on him. Okay, just 3 hits. As you can see, I did this for a couple of times, so... Oh, that's me just getting sloppy. There we go. And he's down. So at this point you can just, he's running away. Just hit him as you chase him. And you can rack up a couple of thousands per attempt if you are pretty on top of things. But that's a lot of effort. And it's still gonna take you quite a while to grind up a lot of money. So remember how I told you guys to like specifically do the one stage Troia Base to get the money generator? Yeah. So if you just kind of stand over here and hold the right button, you're just gonna slowly generate money. I think this is honestly about as efficient as shooting the other guy. I didn't do like a test of like overall profits between the two. I think the shooting overall gives you more money at once, but there's RNG involved as to where the money lands. While this is just very consistent. If you use a piece of tape on your joystick, you can just put this on the side for some hours and you'll come back to as much money as you need to power up your character. Of course, you can also just replay every stage 80 times, and I'm not gonna stop you. But if you don't feel like doing that, then this is my advice. These are the things I learned while I was doing my grind off stream. And knowing is half the battle, and now you know. And I'll hope to see you all again soon. Later this Friday, I hope to finish X8. We'll take a look at the Sigma base. I'm sure he'll stay dead forever this time. I mean, I guess he kind of does. There's no X9 right now. But there's command mission, so not forever. Either way, thank you everybody if you're watching this silly little VOD. And I hope to see you again soon. I am starting to feel better. I'm just trying to be a bit careful to not burn out my voice while I'm in the process of recovering. And also doing it this way means I can pause easier if I start coughing really hard. But honestly, I am starting to feel better, and even though I'm trying to be extra careful, I think I'm gonna be back again tomorrow. So hopefully my fever stays low and we go catch some monkeys tomorrow. So till then, this was a little video and I'll see you next time. Bye 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 bye. Bye bye.